In this tutorial, I want to look at the patterning commands in both synchronous and ordered. So I'll start with the synchronous version. So we've got a hole here that I would like to pattern through this whole face. And we've got a feature in the middle here which we'll need to avoid. So you'll notice that the pattern command is grayed out. And the reason for that is you actually need to pick the feature that you want to pattern before you have the pattern command active. So we're going to go with a straight rectangular pattern, and what we do is it always starts at the feature that you have selected. So we'll need to just place a region in here. So there's various options in here. We can specify which options we want to use. So we'll go 15 and 3. So you can see that we're coming sort of right in here. And then we also we're using a fit. So it's fitted to that area, but the area that we're going to define is 20 drop and 320 wide. So just hitting the tab key to scroll through there, we're getting an error message, and that just indicates that we have an option here which is going to fail because obviously there's already a hole there. So we have the option in here to suppress the instance. So we just click on that and then we get the full list, and we can just click on the ones that we want to take out of the equation. So then we just accept that, and from here we are working from the situation. We can also change the reference point. So if I change it to this one, everything is going to jump across so that we'll only see. So this is the reference point, this is the hole, so you'll only see from there onwards coming out from this point. So anything to the left of that will get ignored. So if we'd started off with a hole here, then that would work fine, but it just looks a little bit weird. So when you've done that, you can then just right mouse click to finish. The other alternative in here is to go with a fixed, and the only difference here is that you specify the spacing between X and Y. So the spacing here, it's just taken what we had before, so it's got a spacing of 10 and a spacing of 22.86, which is the width divided by the number. So there are those options, and alternatively we can have some other options. Obviously circular option works exactly the same way. Along a curve, I will put a link to a previous video I've done on this one, so you can use an edge as the curve, and we can also have fill pattern. So I'm going to just quickly switch across to this one now, and we can specify in here that we want it staggered, rectangular or radial. I'm going to go with staggered here, and then we need to specify whether it's going to be polar or linear. So I'm going to go linear, and then you need to pick your region that you want to fill. So I'm going to go with just this face here, and you'll see that the default, once I've accepted that with the right mouse click, it's going up and left. So the way we fix this up is to click on the torus, rotate it around 180 degrees, and then you'll see the spacing click in the right direction for what we want. So we can go 20 and 10, and when I hit enter, you'll see that we now have a staggered set of holes based on those offsets that we've specified. Then once you've done your pattern, you just need to click on the fill pattern command. That gets highlighted, and you can go back and edit the values. So you can edit the profile and change the settings in here and in here. So now let's look at the pattern command in the ordered environment. So if we go pattern and we pick the feature that we're after, we've got quick pattern, which is behaving just like in the synchronous environment, or pattern by sketch. So once you've picked the feature you want to pattern, you can right mouse click to accept it, and you can either choose a sketch, so you can place your pattern feature on a separate sketch, or in this case we're going to do it as part of this feature. And the rectangular pattern option is up here, and the default, as you'd expect. So we can then go into the options. We've got 3x3 we'll go with, and you have the option of fit, which takes the dimensions of the box and the quantity. You have fill, which takes the spacing and the dimensions of the box, or fixed, which is offset and quantity. In this case, I'm only going to have the ones that are on the corners, so I will suppress the currencies, so I can select that one to turn off that one, and this one. And you can see the reference point is shown here, so if we leave it there, that whole reference point is taken down to the middle item and then projected out from that point there. So we will go and choose that as our reference point. Sorry, I'm still on suppress. So yeah, reference point, let's select that. That's the reference point, so you see the cross coming into the middle. Then what we can do is go to a horizontal vertical just to position the thing centrally. And then we can close the sketch, and basically what that does is it will give us 4 more mountain bosses in here based on that sketch, as you can see. So we can also do staggering in the pattern command. So I'm going to take this feature here, and I'm going to stick with a rectangular pattern and the pattern by sketch. So I'm going to accept that, and then pick on this face here, and then as we did before, we want to put in our box. This time I will go with a 4x3, and in the stagger option you'll see that we have no stagger at the moment. You can do it by column, so it will take the values up, or by row, and in this case we want to turn off the include last column, so you're not going to get the extra ones dropping outside of the box. So okay, and you'll see that we've got it staggered now. We need to change the reference point to be the middle, and then we can just center it to give us our sort of spacing, and we go OK. You'll see that we now have that staggered scenario, and yeah, looks fine. For the last option, I'm going to look at the smart pattern. So I'm going to start by creating a rib, and you need to start with the plane that you want to draw on. So I'm just going to choose that top edge, and sorry, I want it coincident plane. And for the rib, we just draw a line. Now, because we've got the angled edge here, I'm going to just create a short line here and just add some positioning on here by using a sketch. I'm not worried about the length of it, so we'll make that 20 and close the sketch. So the reason I've left it open is that we have in the options here extend profile, so it's going to extend outwards, and extend to next is on as well. I'm going to have a 1 mil thickness and project it down. So you can see that it's projecting across to the edges. Now, sort of this is quite useful when we come to do our pattern. So if I choose the pattern command, I want to leave it by sketch, and I'm going to go to smart pattern this time. So the feature that we want to pattern is the rib, and right mouse click to accept that, and then we want to draw the pattern on this base feature here using a rectangular pattern. I'm just going to come out here to somewhere about there. So for our spacing, I only want it 1 in the Y direction, and I want to have 5 in the X direction. So basically what we do now is when we create that pattern, you can see the spacing across here, and what it does is it does expand out to the outside edges. With the assembly, the process is slightly different. First, we need to create a pattern feature on a sketch. So we'll go sketch, and for this, we're going to draw it on the top plane. I'm going to pattern this part, this rib, and we want to choose the circular pattern feature in the sketch, and I just need to draw profile starting here. Easier to pick the sort of start point as being off over the part that you want to pattern. The direction doesn't matter because it's going to be circular. If you didn't want to have it going all the way around, if you had one of the other options which was fixed, it might only go part of the way around. Or if you're using a partial circle, an arc, in this case it doesn't matter, so we'll go in that direction, and just need to change the quantity to 4, and then close the sketch. So this just sits in the background. Once you finish, you can turn off the sketch. So to go to the pattern, we choose the pattern command, and we need to select part first, accept that, and where it says select part, we want to pick the sketch. I'll show you something how you can use a pattern feature or a hole feature in a part as another option. So again, for the select pattern feature, we want to choose the sketch, and that creates our pattern in the assembly. So another option for patterning in the assembly is to use a hole pattern. So this part here has 4 holes that were part of a hole pattern, and we're going to take this option, this cap screw, and we're going to go to the rectangular pattern. And because I've already selected it, I've missed out on that select item step. You can start it without doing that and then select the item. So then we select the item or part that has the pattern. So as you can see, if I select the hole here, that has a pattern within that part, and then you choose your reference hole, and then when you right mouse click, you'll get your pattern feature coming up in here, so you can see your items patterned in there.